Sometimes people stop believing in God because they've been hurt. Not always by religion and not always by people. Sometimes by life itself. Today, I picked up a woman named Cyndi, and she told me she became an atheist after losing her brother in a tragic car accident. Years later, she ended up in prison. And inside that prison, something happened she still can't explain.
I was atheist for a very long time. I turned atheist when I was about 16. My brother was killed. I just lost it. I couldn't. I was 16 years old and lost my brother. He was 20. So he was my dude. I was in prison for 15 months. I don't know what it was, but it was like a hand or something that washed over me. And I walked out of there. First, I was feeling the weight of the world. I was like, what am I going to do? And as soon as I walked out the door, it was gone. It was gone. There was only one explanation that I felt that I could give for that, was that it must be.
Welcome to Fresh in Spirit. This channel is about real conversations with real people. No scripts, no actors, just honest moments in the car that often lead to deeper truths about life, pain, faith, and purpose. And in today's ride reminded me that some people aren't far from God. They're just carrying wounds.
I was atheist for a very long time. I turned atheist when I was about 16. My brother was killed.
Okay.
Right? And he lived for about a month. Right? It was in a bad car accident. And he lived for about a month before he died. Right? And so I thought that was cruel. I was like, well, God, if you were going to take him anyways, why didn't you just take him? In the car crash, why didn't you just let him burn? Why did you send those two guys to pull him out of the back seat and let him live for a month and then kill him anyways? Not kill him, but take him anyways. I thought that was cruel.
That right there is deeper than most people realize. A lot of people say they reject God because of logic. But many times it started with pain. And when pain enters the heart, the mind starts searching for someone to blame. Sometimes people aren't rejecting the idea of God. They're reacting to the hurt they've experienced while trying to understand him. Some people aren't cold. They are wounded.
Somebody mentioned to me once, maybe he did that to give him an opportunity to repent, right? So that was good. However, I just lost it. I couldn't. I was 16 years old and lost my brother. He was 20. So he was my dude.
Sometimes truth can be spoken too early for a hurting person to hear it. Timing matters and compassion matters. Even good answers can sound empty when someone is drowning in grief. What people often need first is not a sermon, but presence. Not an argument, but love. Because once the heart begins healing, the ears usually open up too.
In 2018, 2017, I got myself in trouble. I was in prison for 15 months and I didn't know what to do. And, so I remember asking one of the CEOs, can I, is there somebody I could talk to? The only thing they said is if you want to talk to the religious person.
Okay. Chaplain?
Like a chaplain.
Okay.
When I talk to the chaplain, I'm an atheist, right? Full on atheist.
Yeah.
And I go, for what? What am I going to do? Talk to the chaplain? Well, sometimes maybe the chaplain could help, get you a call or something like that. I go, well, let's talk to right?
Let me get a phone.
Hell yeah. So I go talk to the chaplain. I tell him my story.
Have you ever gone through something painful that pushed you away from God or pulled you closer? Let me know in the comments below. And if these conversations mean something to you, subscribe to Fresh in Spirit.
And then he goes, well, can I pray for you? And I don't know why, but I said yes. I don't care about prayer at that time, right? So I said yes, and then he took my hands and he prayed, and didn't feel anything. So I go to leave, I get up and I walk out the door, and I don't know what it was, but it was like a hand or something that washed over me. And I walked out of there. First, I was feeling the weight of the world. I was like, what am I going to do? And as soon as I walked out the door, it was gone. It was gone. There was only one explanation that I felt that I could give for that, was that it must be a God.
Notice what changed. Not her location, not her sentence, and not her circumstances. She was still going back to the same prison bed. But peace entered the room. That's powerful.
There was only one explanation that I felt that I could give for that, was that it must be a God that just washed everything away. I didn't do anything. I didn't get any calls. I didn't make any arrangements. I was just going right back to my prison bed, my jail bed.
But you were at peace.
But there was a peace. And that is the only thing that I can think of, is that there must be a God. From then on, I believe.
Some people will still debate theology, demand evidence, or say there has to be another explanation. But when a broken person receives peace in the middle of chaos, that testimony matters, because no one can argue with what transformed you. She walked out with peace. That's what stays with me from this ride. Sometimes God meets people in the places they never wanted to be. Thank you for riding with us. This is Fresh in Spirit.